Consumer Edge started in 2009 as a boutique equity research firm dedicated to using more data to try to prove out investment hypotheses. In 2016, we pivoted to a data company, selling the data directly, with our initial target being the investor audience, so hedge funds, institutional investors, etc. What we've created on Dewey is that we've allowed for a few different use cases for the different types of researchers who might be looking at this data. Number one, because our background is in the investment community, we've been able to create a specialized data set for business school professors or finance professors who want to look at the data on a stock ticker level. So to see what's happening for the public company with M&A attributed at the exact point in time that an acquisition or divestiture happened, who want to be able to map to company reported KPIs, and who want to understand how different company actions and different variables might affect the stock price on that stock ticker level. So with our background as investment industry analysts and with our background writing sell-side research, we've been able to really tailor the data product to that investment lens. And that should be very helpful for finance and business school professors who are looking for that stock ticker view on the companies. However, we are also experts on consumer behavior. When I started at Consumer Edge, I started looking at survey data to try to understand how people were perceiving companies and how that affected company performance and consumer shopping patterns. We have data that goes all the way back to January 1st, 2014. We had a large influx of cards where we're starting year-over-year data as early as 2019. So that's going to allow you to track, which I think is still relevant, pre-COVID trends, all the way through COVID changes, and now what's happening with pent-up demand post-COVID, and then some of the abatement of that pent-up demand. So that's a really nice long data history to be able to track all of the consumer trends. We have over 13,000 brands in our coverage, and we're adding more every single day. And when we add a new brand, we're covering that brand back through the entire data history from when we first saw a transaction. We aggregate those brands up so that you can also look at the data on a macro level. We have over 130 individual sub-industries covered, and that's rolled up to 30 different industries. So you can choose what level of hierarchy you want to look at the data. You can start at very high-level consumer trends and dig your way all the way down into the specific merchants that might be affected by that. We're working directly with banks and processors to source this data. So we have direct relationships there, and that data is getting fed into us. We never see an individual consumer ID. Everything we get is anonymized, both on the bank side, and then on our side, we have additional anonymization procedures to make sure that we never see any non-compliant data, and that everything we're talking about is going to be analyzed at a trend level, looking at overall higher level trends in behavior and analyses. When we get the data, we filter out a number of outliers. So we've done research over time to try to understand which levels of transaction spending are going to just really be anomalies that are going to affect your ability to accurately use the data versus, spending that might be relevant and important for understanding trajectory shifts and inflection points. The things we do that are really unique are, number one, our best-in-class privacy framework to make sure that there's no non-compliant data on any side of the relationship. Number two, our tagging. So when we associate the data to individual merchants, number one, we're able to get deeper. So we're able to tag at the individual location level, which gets us to things like same-store sales. We're able to tag both the main brand, a distribution brand, and a payment brand, which is, for instance, let's say I use PayPal to order DoorDash from Wendy's. We're able to track all three of those unique players in the transaction. So if you're interested in any of those three or the interaction between those three, you can find that in our data set. And then we're also unique in terms of our panelization. So we have a very stable panelization that makes sure that the number of customers you're looking at over the data history is stable, and you don't need to do anything else on your side. So if you're seeing company growth, you can be assured that that's growth from the company and not just growth in the number of people who happen to be in our panel at any given time. We really started with an investor background. When the company was founded in 2009, we were founded as a boutique equity research shop. Over the years, when we evolved to a data company, our target market was still starting with investors. We've expanded to private equity and venture capital. We've expanded to a corporate market. And now that we're looking for our next phases of growth, we want to make sure that we're contributing to the overall thought leadership landscape within generalized consumer behavior research. And so we're very excited to have Dewey to really propel our academic partnerships to the next level.